Voice.
Every night at exactly 3:03 a.m., the same strange signal would creep through the airwaves of a quiet town nestled between forest and fog. No one really noticed at first. After all, who still listens to the radio in the middle of the night? Except for Paul Whitaker. Paul wasn't your average guy. A loner in his mid-40s, with a room full of old ham radios, antenna rigs, and dusty cassette recorders. He loved chasing strange frequencies. UFO chatter, abandoned number stations, Cold War leftovers. He'd heard it all. But this was something different. It started like this: a sharp burst of static, then silence, then the crying. A child somewhere sobbing, softly, desperately, and behind that, whispers, unintelligible, like 100 voices speaking in reverse. The first time he heard it, Paul leaned closer, scribbling notes. The broadcast lasted exactly 3 minutes and 3 seconds, ending at 3:06 a.m. with a high-pitched beep. Creepy? Sure. But Paul was fascinated. Until the second night, when the signal whispered his name. Powell! He jerked back in his chair, heart racing. No one could know he was listening. He hadn't told anyone. And yet, there it was again, buried under the static. Paul, help us. Still, curiosity beat out fear. Paul recorded it night after night, each signal slightly different. Sometimes it played what sounded like reversed prayers. Sometimes laughter. Sometimes screaming. And then, on the fourth night, came the knock. 3 sharp raps on his window at 3:03 a.m. He lived on the second floor. He rushed to the window. No one. Just thick fog swirling outside, and the faint outline of something tall, standing just at the tree line. It didn't move. It didn't leave footprints. Paul stopped recording that night. The next morning, he tried researching, combed radio forums, deep net conspiracy threads, paranormal databases. Nothing. Until he got a private message. Turn it off before it hears you. I used to listen, too. Attached was a file. A distorted voice message. A man whispering frantically. They're not signals. They're invitations. That night, Paul didn't sleep. He disconnected every radio. Threw a blanket over the antenna. But at 3:03 a.m., every electronic in his house switched on, all tuned to the same frequency. His microwave buzzed the same static. His old Walkman lit up. When Ryan's family moved into the old house on Maple Lane, it felt like a fresh start. Fresh paint, creaky floors, and that old-time charm. Sure, it needed a little work, but it was cheap and big, and Ryan was only 10 years old. A quiet kid, the kind who preferred comic books over soccer, who liked to stay up late with a flashlight under the covers. His new room was upstairs, the one at the end of the hallway. The smallest one. The one with a stain on the wallpaper that wouldn't come off, no matter how hard his mom scrubbed. On the first night, Ryan heard scratching. Just faint at first. A little scuffle in the walls. He told his parents, but they just smiled. It's just the house settling. Might be mice. We'll call someone if it gets worse. But it didn't sound like mice. It sounded bigger, more deliberate. Scrape, scratch, top, top, top. And always from the same spot, right behind the headboard of his bed. Ryan tried to ignore it. He told himself it was nothing. But then, one night, he got out of bed and whispered to the wall, "Go away!" And the scratching stopped. The next night, it came back. Louder this time. "Please stop," Ryan said. The sound paused again. Then a low, guttural scraping, like something listening. Then came the voice. A mimic. A soft whisper from inside the wall. "Stop!" Ryan froze. He couldn't sleep. He couldn't scream. He pulled the blankets over his head and prayed. The next morning, Ryan left a piece of toast by the baseboard, near the sound, just in case. Maybe it was hungry. That night, the scratching didn't come. So he did it again the next night. And the next. Toast, crackers, leftover chicken, all gone by morning. And in return, the thing stayed quiet. He began talking to it, telling it stories, and it would whisper back, repeating words in a warped version of his voice. Friend, Ryan, stay. One night, his mother came into the room and found the empty plate. Why are you feeding rats under your bed? It's not rats, Ryan said. It's my friend. His parents laughed. Kids and their imaginations. She took the plate away, said no more food in the bedroom. That night, Ryan didn't feed it, and it was angry. The scratching returned, faster, deeper, almost like claws on wood. Then came the growl. At 3 a.m., the dog began barking wildly downstairs. Then silence. Ryan waited, eyes wide in the dark. The next morning, the dog was gone. She must have slipped out, Dad said, but the back door was still locked.
No pou prints. No trace.
And Ryan noticed. The scratching sounded closer now. The next night, Ryan whispered to the wall.
I'm sorry.
I didn't mean to upset you. The wall responded. Feed again. He stole leftovers, snuck food back into his room, and the thing purred. He could feel it. The wall vibrated when it was happy, but that happiness didn't last. One day, Ryan came home from school and found a hole in the baseboard. A little black gap in the wall, too small for a person but too big to be safe. And inside, something moved, just out of sight. He leaned closer. Are you okay? He whispered. A hand reached out. Not a child's hand, not a human one. Too long, too many joints, nails like splinters, skin like mold. Ryan screamed. His parents rushed in, but the hole was gone. Just smooth wall.
No crack.
No mark. That night, his mother came in to check on him. But something was different. Her voice was flat. Her smile was too wide, and her eyes didn't blink. She sat on the edge of his bed and whispered, Did you feed your friend, Ryan? He nodded slowly, and she leaned in, whispering, Good boy. Then she left, but not before dragging her nails across the wall with a long, slow scratch. Ryan couldn't sleep. He knew something was wrong. His parents stopped eating dinner with him. They stopped talking. They just stared and scratched. He heard them whispering to the walls. He tried telling someone at school, but they said he was making things up. A teacher called home. The next day, that teacher didn't show up, and Ryan's dad smiled for the first time in weeks. Ryan decided to end it. He got a hammer, waited until midnight. Then, with shaking hands, he smashed through the wall where the noise came from. Dust and plaster fell everywhere. Behind the wall, nothing. Just darkness. A space that should not exist. It went on forever. Then something opened its eyes in the dark. He never screamed. They never found Ryan. His parents said he ran away, but they never looked too hard. And now, every night, they leave a plate at the wall. Not food. Not anymore. Just bones. Little ones. And if you walk by that house on Maple Lane late at night, you might hear a soft voice from the upstairs window. Still hungry. Maya was a photographer, the kind who hunted for forgotten places. Abandoned barns, rusting signs, ghost towns lost to time. She loved the stillness in decay, and the stories no one remembered. One summer afternoon, while driving alone through rural Pennsylvania, her GPS glitched. The signal froze. The screen flickered. Then, it went blank. She checked her phone. No bars. No signal. No map. But up ahead was a fork in the road. To the right, the highway she'd come from. To the left, a dirt road, swallowed by trees. Unmarked. Curious. She turned left. The road narrowed, twisting, turning, until suddenly, it opened into a clearing. And there it was. A town. Small, quiet, no movement, no cars, no sound, but everything looked preserved, like someone pressed pause in the 1960s. Old diners, a barber shop, a tiny gas station with a 35-cent sign, an ice cream truck, rusted but spotless, parked on the corner. There were people, too, not many, maybe a dozen, all standing still, staring at her car as she drove in, expressionless. Unblinking, Maya slowed down. She rolled her window halfway and waved awkwardly. No one waved back. She parked near the diner, stepped out, camera in hand. "Hi," she called out. One woman, wearing a blue checkered dress and hair in curls, turned slowly. She smiled. "Welcome," she said, her voice soft and distant. "We've been waiting for you." Maya blinked. "Excuse me." But the woman just walked away. Maya took a photo, looked at the screen. It was blank, static, no image, just digital noise. She tried again. Nothing. Then, her camera shut off completely. Shrugging it off, Maya walked down the street. The town was clean. Too clean. No trash. No dirt. No leaves. Not even dust on the windows. She peeked into the diner. People sat at tables, not eating, not speaking, just sitting and staring. A man in a white uniform behind the counter turned slowly and said, "Coffee, dear." Maya backed away. Something was wrong. She walked back to her car, started the engine, tried to leave, but every road she took led her back to the same street. Over and over. Left turn, right turn, U-turn. Didn't matter. The diner, the ice cream truck, the old man in the rocking chair, always there, always staring. She parked again and rushed into the town library. Dusty, silent. She found a newspaper on the front desk. The date read, June 6, 1966. Every newspaper, every calendar, same date. She opened a photo album on the shelf labeled Visitors. And there was her picture, taken from behind, wearing the same shirt she had on now. It was dated tomorrow. Panicking, she ran back outside. The townspeople had gathered, all facing her. No one spoke. They simply smiled. The woman in the blue dress stepped forward again. "We needed a new one," she whispered. "Don't worry." The others got out. She gestured behind Maya. Maya turned and saw people, standing, pale, lifeless, like mannequins, eyes wide, skin gray, dozens, hundreds. Each one wore a look of frozen horror, and one of them looked just like her. Maya screamed and ran, back to the car, back to the road. The engine roared, and this time, the road changed. It opened. The town faded in her rearview mirror. She didn't stop driving for hours. Eventually, she found a gas station, called a friend, took a breath. But when she got home, the photos on her camera were gone, replaced with one image, a group photo, dozens of people, all smiling, standing in front of the diner. And there, in the back row, was Maya, eyes wide, frozen smile, holding a sign that said, "Welcome to town." If you've made it this far, you're braver than most. But remember, some doors once opened, never fully close. The stories may end, but the feeling they leave behind, that lingers. If the shadows seem a little darker tonight, maybe you're just starting to see what's always been there. This is Dark Voice. We'll be waiting in the dark.